Partnership began on April 27, 1993. What began as simple senior leader visits and low-level familiarization exchanges grew quickly to cooperative participation in large-scale exercises and co-deployments to Afghanistan. Since the inception of the program, the Pennsylvania National Guard and Lithuanian Armed Forces have conducted over 600 security cooperation engagements, completed 18 co-deployments to Afghanistan in support of police officer mentorship liaison teams and provincial reconstruction teams, conducted an annual company or platoon exchange since 2011, and participated together in numerous exercises such as Saber Strike, Iron Wolf, Flaming Sword, Thunderstorm, Dynamic Front, Allied Spirit, and Combined Resolve. The State Partnership Program is a joint Department of Defense security cooperation program managed and administered by the Chief National Guard Bureau, executed by the Geographic Combatant Commanders, and sourced by the National Guard of the states and territories. The State Partnership Program began with Department of Defense efforts to assist former Soviet bloc militaries transition to a Western model after the Soviet Union's collapse in 1991. U.S. European Command established the Joint Contact Team Program in 1992 and embraced the State Partnership Program. Initial partnerships with Lithuania, Estonia, and Latvia were established in 1993. 11 partners have since joined the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, and with 73 total partnerships, the State Partnership Program continues to provide unique and significant benefits to the combatant commands, the Department of Defense, and the nation. Our program started with 4 events the first year, 8 the second, then averaged 12 to 14 from 2006 to 2013, and then doubled to 26 in 2014 and 15, 36 in 2016, and up to 56 for 2017 and 18. The Pennsylvania National Guard and Lithuanian Armed Forces have had thousands of soldiers and airmen participate in State Partnership Program events since the inception of the program.
We are the Pennsylvania Department of Military and Veterans Affairs. More than 23,000 soldiers, airmen, and Commonwealth employees living, working, and serving our communities across Pennsylvania. We're proud of our people and the work they do. More than 19,000 members of our Pennsylvania National Guard serve as citizen soldiers, serving their communities as both service members and citizens. Our agency employees provide support at our state veterans homes, Fort Indiantown Gap, Air National Guard installations, Army National Guard readiness centers located throughout the state. One thing our employees all have in common is that we all serve our Commonwealth, united by a mission. We serve our nation, Commonwealth, veterans, and partners to the best of our ability. Pennsylvania's Department of Military and Veterans Affairs. Living and working in Pennsylvania. Serving Commonwealth and country.
We are the Department of Military and Veterans Affairs. We are.
We are.
We are. Bureau of Pennsylvania.
pleasure to introduce the Adjutant General of Pennsylvania, Major General Anthony Corelli.
Thank you, everyone. It's my great honor, on behalf of the organization, Pennsylvania National Guard, Department of Military and Veterans Affairs, the Governor, and all of our legislature, to welcome you here today for the celebration of our 25-year anniversary of the greatest partnership in the entire state partnership program. And no doubt, I think there are probably a handful of states that will dare make that remark, but we all know that I'm the only one that's really telling the truth about that. Because there is no greater partnership than what we have here. We played the video, the We Are Pennsylvania video. That's who we are, and that's what we do. And you saw the partnership piece to that. And there is no greater partnership. All the partnerships that we do in state government with aid organizations, with first responders, there's no partnership that's more important to us here in Pennsylvania than this partnership here with Lithuania. 25 years. And on behalf of all the adjutant generals that have come before me, that since this partnership began, all the senior staff, all of the people that have worked tirelessly over the years to build this program to what it is. I have the great honor of standing before you to say a few remarks about how important this really is for all of us. This is our freedom. This is what we're here. No country, no matter how big, with the United States as big and powerful, an economic power, a military power, where we cannot survive in this world without allies, without partners. That was true in 1776, when our country was first formed, when we first got our independence, and it is true today. And Lithuania is the perfect example of that. A country of alliances, and then of course a country that has gotten its independence much sooner than that, but a country that history goes way back before ours, over 1,000 years before ours. And I'd like to congratulate all the Lithuanians for their centennial anniversary this year, the restoration of their independence. I get to travel around a lot. We were just actually in Lithuania for Saber Strike, and we did a similar ceremony to honor our partnership in Lithuania. We just got back about 2 days ago. And we're doing this one here today because it's important for us to mark this day and to reflect on what it means. And those of you that haven't had the opportunity to travel in Lithuania, I assure you, you're missing a lot. What a fabulous and beautiful country. And we see Lithuania as we see it today. I don't know what it looked like 30 years ago. But there are people my age and older that were born into oppression. They were born into tyranny. They didn't have freedom. They were tortured. They were deported. Families were broken up. People were executed. This wasn't that long ago. People our age understood what that time was. And they're walking the streets of Lithuania today. Okay, most Lithuanian families, they don't have to go back generations. Here in the United States, we've been a free and independent nation for nearly 250 years. We have to go back generations before you could find someone that was in your family and your forefathers that maybe participated in the American Revolution. Many Americans today take that freedom for granted because they don't understand how precious that is. It is not owed to us, and people just expect that we're going to wake up every single day and have the same freedoms that we do today. Our Lithuanian partners understand more than most. That is not a guarantee. And throughout their history, they've had freedom, and then it was taken away, and then they were able to restore it, and then it was taken away. And of course, now they have their freedom again. And just last week, walking through the streets of Lithuania, an incredible, in Vilnius, in the capital. What a beautiful city. As you walk through, it was a day just like today, sunny, 70 degrees. Kids playing in the park, playing soccer. Families on the street pushing strollers. There's fountains. It was a little warm in the afternoon. There's fountains, and you can see the smaller kids with their clothes down to their skivvies playing in the fountains. We did a ceremony in a park, and all the families were out there. You saw people on bikes, on scooters, on segways. Through the churches and the hotels in the middle of the city, you saw hundreds, if not thousands, of tourists making their way through the streets, taking pictures of the beautiful city, of the historic churches. What a beautiful place. Okay, but just down the street from about 100 yards from the park that we did the ceremony, there's the Genocide Museum, which was KGB headquarters. And just 30 years ago, it's not that long ago, horrific torture, execution, and oppression going on there. Families broken up, and through the ages, through the generations, we celebrate our veterans here in America, and we go back as far as our World War II era veterans who are all in their 90s. Okay, you talk about the Soviet takeover in Lithuania following World War II, the partisan movement, the massive genocide that went on in that next decade, the resistance, because the Lithuanians still always tried to seek their freedom and never stopped resisting. Hundreds of thousands of people deported into the far eastern reaches of Siberia, into work camps. Essentially, every family was touched. And they still remember it today, and I can promise you the Lithuanian people do not take their freedom for granted. They understand how precious it is. And that is the greatest lesson we can learn from our partners. And I'm renewed every time I get to travel there and see it with my own eyes. We started out 25 years ago as partners. And then we became allies. And then we became friends. Which is the strongest form of partnership whatsoever. We talk about all the things we do, all the engagements that we do throughout the year back and forth. And it's not just military. We're doing a large number of civilian engagements now. We're trying to crank up partnerships between schools and hospitals and cities, working with the government, working with wildlife programs. Anything that we can do, energy programs, cyber. So it's not just about the military. It's expanding as time goes on. The partnership is important to us. And there is no contract, there is no treaty, there is no signed agreement saying that we have to do this visit, we have to do that visit. We do it because that's what friends do for each other. So I'm very proud of the fact that we are such great friends now between our two nations. And as we continue to build on that, I look forward to what we'll be able to do the next 25 years. As I said, we've had freedom in this country for a long time. And those of you that are old enough to remember 9/11, September 11th of 2001, our freedom was challenged that day. And we were attacked right here in America. And we needed to respond, and we could not respond on our own. We need to do it with allies. And one of our greatest friends, of course, the Lithuanians responded multiple times. And as John had mentioned in his historical remarks about our partnership, 18 different times, Lithuanians and Pennsylvania National Guardsmen served shoulder to shoulder in a combat zone. 18 times since 9/11. Again, a great partner, but as friends. And we continue to train together, soldier by soldier, airman by airman, shoulder to shoulder in that service. As other countries look at our partnership, as our allies look at our partnership between Pennsylvania and Lithuania, they're very jealous because they wish they would have what we have. As our enemies look at our partnership, they fear our partnership because they understand the resolve that we both share and that friendship that's been built over this quarter of a century. I thank you all for your participation. I thank you for what you do, and for all of you who serve in uniform that fight for our freedoms, whether it be here in the United States or in Lithuania, protecting Eastern Europe, the Baltics. I thank you for what you do to do that, and for everything that you do to support this partnership. I look forward to serving with all of you tomorrow as we start the next 25 years. And let's just make it bigger and bigger and better as time goes on. So thank you so much for coming out today. At this time, I'd like to present the ambassador with a proclamation from our governor. And I won't read the whole thing, but for brevity, essentially, I'll read a few paragraphs. Whereas the Pennsylvania-Lithuania military history dates back nearly 100 years, Samuel J. Harris, was born in Shippensburg, Pennsylvania on December 24th, 1896. He served as a second lieutenant in the United States Army during World War I. He then served as a first lieutenant, American Brigade, 112th United States Infantry in Lithuania, where he was killed in action on February 24th, 1920 in Kaunas, Lithuania. Lieutenant Harris is buried in Arlington National Cemetery. And whereas on April 27th, 1993, the Pennsylvania National Guard established a state partnership with the Republic of Lithuania, this robust partnership has flourished for 25 years and has the promise of continued success. And whereas Lithuania is a key ally to the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania and to the United States of America, Lithuania has provided an essential voice in promoting international security and economic prosperity. Lithuania has also advanced the responsible use of natural resources in Europe while countering Russian malign influence. And whereas Pennsylvania and Lithuania continue to enhance regional security in Europe through the collaboration of its shared security theater objectives. Whereas the Pennsylvania National Guard remains resolutely committed to Lithuania's security and regional stability, maintaining our close relationship and supporting initiatives that are most important to Lithuania. Therefore, I, Tom Wolf, Governor of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, do hereby proclaim June 14th, 2018 as State Partnership Program with Lithuania Day in Pennsylvania, in grateful recognition of 25 years of bilateral cooperation between the Pennsylvania National Guard and the Lithuania Armed Forces. Given under my hand, is sealed by the Governor in the city of Harrisburg, first day of June 2018, year of the Commonwealth, 242nd. Tom Wolf, Governor. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, the commander of the Krašto Apsaugos Savanorių Jėgos Lithuanian National Defense Volunteer Force, Colonel Arturas Distinskas.
Dear General, Mr. Ambassador, state representatives, soldiers of Pennsylvania National Guard and cast people of Pennsylvania. We all know Pennsylvania is proud of its rich history. Reference Pennsylvania as a state of freedom has good reason that go back into history now. Religious tolerance, advocated by William Penn, the Declaration of Independence, ringing sound of the Liberty Bell and the U.S. Constitution all have origins here in Pennsylvania and powerfully represents the tradition of the freedom. For us Lithuanians, the message of freedom coming from the other side of Atlantic was always a strong inspiration and motivation to stand and fight for our freedom, for freedom of our nation. Here, I would like to offer a short historical perspective to these 25 years of cooperation between Pennsylvania National Guard and Lithuanian Armed Forces. This year, Lithuania celebrates the centennial anniversary of our restored state. In 1980, Lithuania was declared independent and democratic. From 1980, we count the years of our modern state. The Armed Forces of Lithuania, later in November this year, will also celebrate 100 years anniversary, which we will also celebrate together with Pennsylvania National Guard soldiers. Sadly, in the span of a century, 50 years, Lithuania was occupied by Soviet Union. Today, July 14th, in Lithuania, I remember massive deportations to Siberia of 1941. We call this day the day of mourning, grief, and hope. This is to say that Lithuania never abandoned the dream of free, independent, and democratic state. Our people fought for the freedom in the forests of our country, resisted the Soviet occupation, even being imprisoned by KGB and deported to Siberia. Here in the United States of America, Lithuanians firmly stood for the freedom of their beloved Lithuania, and the American government recognized them as a true representative of their occupied country. Diplomatic relations during occupation were maintained. The United States of America never acknowledged the occupation of my country. In 1993, just 3 years after our independence was declared, the State Partnership Program was initiated between Pennsylvania National Guard and Lithuanian Armed Forces. Some might say that 25 years is not a significant period of time. I would argue that it is, on two accounts. Firstly, because of the historic reflection I spoke a minute ago, a quarter of a century of our successful cooperation should be seen in the context of the past 100 years, out of which Lithuania was occupied by 50 years. So it means we have more than 50 years of our independence. That's why this 25 years of cooperation is a remarkable period for our cooperation. The Pennsylvania National Guard supports Lithuanian armed forces in various areas, as it was just mentioned by new general and by introducing State Partnership Program. Our soldiers, just to repeat short, our soldiers train together, fight together, and some time after time, especially exercise, live together. Lithuanian soldiers and officers today view our work, our contact with Pennsylvania National Guard as a given, as a certain thing. You know, you are allies, you are our friends, our brothers and sisters in arms. This is the main value of State Partnership Program with Pennsylvania. We wish we will work for our friendship to continue for many years to come. Before I will finish with this speech, let me thank you, General. Let me thank you, soldiers, officers, especially those who are working in State Partnership Program, for your dedication and for your understanding and for your work promoting this program and our cooperation. I also would like to tell special thanks to Madam Chris Bach, the Honorable Consul of the Republic of Lithuania in Philadelphia. The program what you arranged for that group of our municipality soldiers was excellent and perfect. And this program truly exceeded our expectations. The possibility to be acquainted with governance and social programs in a number of towns and cities of Pennsylvania was of high value. With this in mind, I would like to notice that there are many opportunities to develop our cooperation even further, to start new projects, and particularly in the civilian sector, as also already mentioned. Also, it was our pleasure to introduce Gus Pigman and its soloist, Georgis Pruska. We were happy to meet, talk, share our friendship and music with American Lithuanians who are present also here. Above all, the most important thing is our joint exercises and experience in military training and friendship among our soldiers. I would like to thank Pennsylvania National Guard and CASP citizen soldiers for their voluntary commitment to prepare and train for defense of our countries, of our nations. Best wishes from Lithuania, a country of great history and unbreakable will, the Pennsylvania, the state of freedom. With this said, I would like to present to you, General, a small gift. Dedicated to the basic occasion. And this plaque is special because it was made by our citizen soldiers and by some officers. So please.
It's my pleasure to introduce Ms. Sandra Garcia, Regional Manager for United States Senator Bob Casey, to deliver a greeting on behalf of Senator Casey.
Good afternoon. As stated, my name is Sandra Garcia, and on behalf of U.S. Senator Bob Casey, to General Corelli, I want to congratulate you and the members of the Pennsylvania National Guard on the 25th anniversary of your state partnership program with Lithuania. Since its inception, this program has paid dividends for our national security by building people-to-people ties with the Lithuanian military. Now, with Russian aggression in Europe running high, these bonds are more important than ever. Senator Casey regrets not being able to attend today's commemoration, but wishes to convey his gratitude for your leadership and the good work of both the Pennsylvania National Guard and the government of Lithuania on this enduring partnership. Thank you.
In honor of this long-lasting, close relationship between the Pennsylvania National Guard and Lithuanian Armed Forces, Pennsylvania Senate and House passed resolutions 389 and 973 respectively. I'd like to now introduce Senator Mike Fulmer, who represents Lebanon, Dauphin, and York counties, who will read the Pennsylvania Senate resolution, and Representative Frank Ryan, who represents the 101st District, Lebanon, will represent the Pennsylvania House resolution.
If I may say, before we get started, I've had an opportunity as a retired Marine to spend a great deal of time in Europe in the period 1989 through about 1996. And you heard a great deal of comments from General Corelli that were right on the spot. Ambassador and Colonel, I would just like to say from the bottom of my heart, and for everyone here, please remember you may at one point in time occupy a nation. But any of you and us, myself, that have worked with the Lithuanian military and the Lithuanian people know that you can never take away the spirit, the bravery, the courage, and the honor and dignity of the Lithuanian people. The freedom that they have always wanted has never been extinguished. And they are a proud military, and we are honored as a result of that to be part of this partnership. I would like to remind all of us who have worked with the Pennsylvania National Guard. When the Pennsylvania Guard was founded in 1747, the United States was not a nation. It was started prior to the Revolutionary War, and it is the only branch of service that's older than my beloved Marine Corps. So I'm honored to see two incredibly wonderful people here today that are joined in a 25-year partnership. So on behalf of the United States, on behalf of the Pennsylvania Senate and the Pennsylvania House of Representatives, let me just go ahead and issue these comments, please. And again, in the order to be able to hit the major important points. Whereas since the inception of the SPP, Pennsylvania National Guard, and the Lithuanian Armed Forces have conducted more than 600 security and cooperation engagements together in numerous exercises. Whereas soldiers and airmen of the Pennsylvania National Guard and the Lithuanian Armed Forces have fought side by side in Afghanistan during 18 deployments. And whereas the Pennsylvania National Guard and the Lithuanian National Armed Forces have built a true partnership through long-term relationships based on trust, professionalism, and confidence. Whereas more than 2,000 additional soldiers participated through annual platoon and company exchanges, whereas the SPP has flourished for 25 years due to the bilateral cooperation of the Pennsylvania National Guard and the Lithuanian Armed Forces, resolved that the Senate and the House designate November 23, 2018 as a state partnership program with Lithuania in Pennsylvania, and be it further resolved that the Senate and the House remain resolutely committed to Lithuania's security and regional stability, maintaining our close relationship and supporting initiatives that are most important to Lithuania, and be it further resolved that the Senate and the House join with Lithuanians in the celebration of 100 years of the resolution and the restoration of an independent state of Lithuania.
Please report to the Adjutant General. Attention to orders. The Adjutant General of Pennsylvania awards the Pennsylvania Commendation Medal to Colonel Arturas Yazinskis, Commander of the National Defense Volunteer Forces. Colonel Arturas Yazinskis has distinguished himself by exceptionally meritorious service to the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania by building readiness for the Pennsylvania National Guard through bilateral cooperation with the National Defense Volunteer Forces of the Republic of Lithuania. As the Chief of Staff of the Provincial Reconstruction Team Changchurin of the NATO International Security Assistance Force, he served alongside Pennsylvania Guardsmen in combat in Afghanistan within the bounds of the State Partnership Program. Colonel Yazinskis remains a key component to the resolute partnership between the Pennsylvania National Guard and the Lithuanian Armed Forces. Colonel Yazinskis' actions are in keeping with the finest traditions of military service and reflect great credit upon himself, the Lithuanian Armed Forces, the Republic of Lithuania, the Pennsylvania National Guard, and the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. By order of the Governor, Anthony J. Corelli, Major General, the Adjutant General. following cast soldiers report to the Adjutant General. Captain Ricardus Shapros. Senior Sergeant Kestis Prors. Sergeant Jurgis Berska. Sergeant Arias Petrushis. Sergeant Rokas Urbavicius. Corporal Darius Pelagius. Corporal Mendalgas Pashashunas. Attention to orders. The Adjutant General of Pennsylvania awards the Pennsylvania Commendation Medal to the aforementioned soldiers, members of the National Defense Volunteer Forces. By order of the Governor, Anthony J. Corelli, Major General, the Adjutant General. The following soldiers report to the commander of the CASP. Major Nathan Lance, Captain Timothy Kramer, Captain Nathan Schenk, and Sergeant First Class Daniel Klingbeil. In accordance with the promotion and war procedure of the Lithuanian National Defense System, and on the occasion of the 25th anniversary of cooperation between the Lithuanian Armed Forces and the Pennsylvania National Guard, in recognition of exceptional distinction enhancing the Lithuanian Armed Forces, exceptional initiative, and significant personal dedication to development of international military cooperation. I hereby award the divisions of the Lithuanian Armed Forces Medal of Distinguished Service to Sergeant First Class Daniel Klingbeil, Pennsylvania National Guard. I hereby award the National Defense Volunteer Forces Medal of Distinction to the following personnel of the Pennsylvania National Guard. Captain Nathan Schenk. Captain Timothy Kramer. I hereby award the Land Forces Medal of Distinction to Major Nathan Lance. Order signed by Commander of National Defense Volunteer Forces, Carl Arturis Yazinskis. Please be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, the Adjutant General of Pennsylvania, Major General Anthony Crow.
All right, at this time, I'd just like to make a quick presentation to the ambassador, a small token of our appreciation for the 25 years of great partnership between the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania and the country of Lithuania. We wanted something that would broadly show the history of the great history history of Pennsylvania, the great history of Lithuania, but also capture the partnership. So if we get the other grant.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Ambassador of the Republic of Lithuania to the United States of America, His Excellency Rolandas Krasčiūnas.
I'm lost. My heart was singing all this time, and when my heart sings, sometimes my head gets empty. I forgot everything I was supposed to tell. But General Kareli, journalists discuss. Lithuania counts its statehood from many, many centuries ago. But 1918 still stands up as a date of the beginning of modern Lithuania. And the people who pronounced restoration of independence of Lithuania, at the same time they laid a foundation for the new state. And there are quite a number of American Lithuanians coming to build this new state. And that's what binds us with the United States already for the centennial before. And of course, when you have the human ties, people-to-people contacts, that's the most important tie we have. And of course, this foundation, which was laid 100 years ago, it's a very special year for us. Also build a big desire for freedom, which will be burning in our hearts forever. And one of the examples I could tell you very vividly, just yesterday at the Embassy of Lithuania, we had the last surviving partisan who was captured by Soviets back in 1946, so-called forest burners, who were in the forests and they were fighting the Soviets after World War II till the late 50s. Not a lot of Americans know about this. And it was this person who is 92 years old, and he will turn 93 years old on July 10th, had a very strong desire to come to the United States. And it also illustrates what ties we have and what bonds we have between our countries. The people who were fighting for freedom, they always were looking to the United States as a country which stands for freedom, which stands for democracy, which stands for principles. And yes, as Colonel mentioned, the United States never recognized the creation of Lithuania. And that inspired the people like Jakubonis Tigras, the person I was referring to. 93 years old, he wanted to come to America to see this country. A miracle country probably in his mind. And when we asked what you want to see in the United States, he said, I would like to see White House. I would like to see New York City. And I would like to see the Voice of America building. And we said, why just to see the building? Let's get inside. So the day he spent some time in the Voice of America building. The voice of freedom, which was coming across the ocean to inspire people to never give up hope. And the people who were fighting in the forests till the late 50s, they lost the battle, but they never lost the independence as a second Independence Day. And sometimes I joke because if you compare Lithuania and the United States, everything is bigger in the United States. You have more people, you have bigger cities. But I always say we have twice as many Independence Days as we do. And I don't wish you to have a second Independence Day. But having two Independence Days speaks tons about the nation of Lithuania. Because that means we will never give up. And the worst any empire in history have done to itself is to touch Lithuania. The Soviet Union did it. Why is Soviet Union? No Soviet Union. So, of course, we are resilient people and we will be fighting for our freedom. And of course, the soldiers you see there, they're the ones to get the armies. And of course, United States meant a lot for us as a country to inspire us, as a country to stand by us, and a country to lead us to the freedom once again. And of course, if you look at the United States, and it took some time for me to get to Pennsylvania, to be honest, one state stands out to me. And Pennsylvania was a gate for Lithuanian Americans, for Lithuanians to come into the United States to look for jobs and opportunity to build the United States together with all other immigrants who came into the United States. And it started very early. And Pennsylvania was this big. So you could go to the smaller cities, which were not so small earlier, and you will see how many Lithuanians applied there. And of course, that they, at the time, they moved deeper into the country. Most of them settled close to Chicago. That's where most of the Americans settled today. But Pennsylvania was a special state. And there's a lot of history between our countries. I would say our countries, state of Pennsylvania and Lithuania. And this history, inspires us to build more. And when we got Pennsylvania as our partnership, state or National Guard program, we are so happy. And I could say, as a civilian, I think this match was really happy. And I believe it will last not just for the next 25 years, General. I think it will last for much, much, much longer. And I get this very wonderful feeling. Wherever I look, I look to my left, I see this man is laying his blood. I look in front, I see Lithuanian American community, I see National Guard representatives of Pennsylvania, who, as General mentioned 18 times, went shoulder to shoulder, combat situations. And, what you could wish more for. And I look to right and I see General, who has so much energy and so many ideas to extend this beyond just National Guard Corporation. And I don't know, sky is the limit when we discuss. And I look at Krista and I know how capable she is to reach this for the sky. And I think we are in a very good hands. History, lots of chemistry, lots of energy. And let's look at cooperation among our universities. Let's look at cooperation among our businesses. And I would like to see Philadelphia and Pennsylvania in general to become business gates, or gateway for Lithuanian business into the United States, which will benefit both sides, Lithuania and Pennsylvania. So therefore, my warmest congratulations on this 25th anniversary. Happy 21st birthday. And long live partnership. Thank you.
Please be seated. Chaplain Furman, would you please come forward and lead us in the benediction?
Will you receive the closing prayer and benediction? Gracious God, again we come to you, we give thanks for all that we've been able to experience this day. We're called to reflect upon the sacrifices of so many in each of our nations that have made our nations what they are. We give thanks for the sacrifices of those in the future that will help to maintain our nations and to make them stronger. And we pray again for each man and woman serving in these various nations wearing their country's uniform. Help them to help keep their nation strong. And now as you go forth, may God's peace and grace be with you always. Amen.
Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes the formal portion of our ceremony. You know, many people work diligently to make this afternoon a truly special event. The members of the 20th Infantry Division Band, the Caspic Bendis, Ms. Krista Bard, and all the other soldiers and airmen who assisted. I'm going to go a little... off script. General, please don't get nervous. We still have much food and much good times to have after the ceremony. We're going to take a quick pause for a picture here in the front, but please stay as our bands play together some more marches from both our militaries. Also, we still have stag displays and more food in the rear, so please enjoy both American and Lithuanian food. But with that, we'll go back on script, sir. Following the conclusion of the ceremony, would all members of the Lithuanian Armed Forces from the Republic of Lithuania Embassy, please come to the stage for a photo. And on behalf of the Adjutant General, enjoy the rest of your afternoon, please drive safely, and enjoy the music of our partnership bands made up of the 20th Infantry Division Band and Caspic Bendis as you depart. Thank you.